Hello, everyone. I'm your host, John Rayon, and my guest today on the Always Direct podcast is Chris Dahlander. Chris is the founder of Snappy Salads, and this awesome salad company is based out of Dallas, Fort Worth, and currently has over, I believe, a dozen locations. I'm so excited to learn about his journey scaling this business and can't wait to pick his brain. Thanks for coming on the show, Chris.
I appreciate the opportunity. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, man. So you are, how many locations are there currently with the salad company?
Snappy Salads, we have 14.
14
Here
locations.
in the Dallas-Fort Worth area.
Wow. Listen, I'm in the restaurant business. I'm in the marketing business. I know how hard it is to build any restaurant, but one restaurant, let alone scale it up. So I would love to take the time today and dive into your story. You know, what kind of person you were, how did you get into the restaurant space, and how did you get from an idea to scaling it up to 14?
Okay.
So you grew up in Dallas?
I have been here all my life, born and raised, yes. I left for college, and that's about it. So I've certainly traveled since then, but I've lived here all my life. So I know it like the back of my hand. I went to Texas Tech, got a degree in advertising, marketing, and came back and started in a marketing firm that did a lot of work with Pizza Hut, actually. And I don't know if you have the Pizza Hut coupons, if you ever get those. I know that we're talking about pizza, you're a pizza guy, but I'm sure you've seen the barcodes on the bottom of the coupons that they use. And so we were the company that put those barcodes and tracked redemption, consumer redemption of those coupons, so we could go back to Pizza Hut and say, hey, you should use this, two medium, one topping pizza deal here in this area. You should use a, whatever, stuffed crust here in this area. And we started tracking, helping them kind of increase their momentum, their frequency of guest purchase cycles. So it was a lot of fun and learned a lot. So then I went to, I actually just, this will date me, but I answered an ad in the newspaper for a job at Brinker International, which is, at the time actually, was Chili's, Macaroni Grill, On the Border, Cozy Mel's, Maggiano's, which you know from Chicago.
Yeah. Which I love, by the way.
I'm sorry?
Big fan.
Good. Oh, yes. And so I joined the Macaroni Grill team, the marketing team, and we had 75 locations at the time and grew to 210 and started franchising internationally towards the end of my career there. And it was great. I hung out with a bunch of Italian chefs, Franco, Giacomo, Marco, Polo. That's my joke. And they taught me about food. They taught me about the leave your hands out of it and let the food, the quality of the food come through. So at the time we were grating Reggiano Parmesan, on our pasta. We were making a lot of our pastas and our sauces from scratch. And it was just a fantastic experience. Anywhere that I could volunteer, I raised my hand and said, hey, I want to be part of this group or this initiative. And it was it seems like a huge company. And it was a Fortune 500 company, but the team was rather small. And so they needed help everywhere. So I got to kind of walk into my friend Brian's office in the legal department and say, hey, let's talk about trademark of, and registering names that, of our menu items. I got to help out with our design, our real estate. And, I wasn't the only one involved in the decisions. I don't want to make it sound like that, but I was in the room. And those experiences outside of just the marketing experience, the silo of marketing, I think gave me the confidence that I could open my own restaurant. So I had 8 years of experience at Macaroni Grill, and we only had a $33 million advertising marketing budget.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I was waiting for that. $33 million. And
Yeah, but
the
$33 million, but that's across 75 locations or 200. Well, you were scaling.
we were scaling 210 locations at that point, right? Yes, we were. Yeah, it was really in the heyday. We were blowing and going. It was so much fun. We like to say we bled arrabbiata sauce, and just the team clicked, and there's a great culture around the what we were doing. There were just a real kind of combined interest in making this thing the best thing ever. So, at that time we had gladiolas, fresh gladiolas going down the middle of the restaurant. We had opera singers. We had on the honor wine honor wine system, which was actually wine from Italy. It was actually Sangiovese, and um, it was a fantastic experience. It wasn't just food. It wasn't just service. It was just a whole experience. Um, so anyway, at Brinker, I had a card, kind of like a credit card, a comp card, where I could eat free at all these restaurants. Cozymel's, Corner Bakery was another one from Chicago, Maggiano's, Chili's, and my wife and I didn't have kids yet, so I kept on eating. It was my job.
How did
Kept
you
on
not get
eating.
fat? The good question is, how did you not get fat? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, well, that's what happened, right? I started getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And one day I looked at myself in the mirror and I said, I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be that guy. And so I started seeking out salads. And everywhere that I went, I was disappointed for various reasons. So if I went to, um, I don't want to name names, but at one place I asked for a chicken Caesar salad with no croutons, and there's not that many ingredients in a chicken Caesar salad to begin with, and it took them 5 minutes to get it out to me because they had pre-made it with all the croutons, so they had to, I guess, go chop lettuce, go make dressing, go get chicken, put it in there. And there was another place where I went, and but they just it was good quality, but again, they could never get my order right. And I thought, well, there's an opportunity here. This is Chipotle was just starting to come online, and Five Guys, kind of the focused centric um, you know burritos for Chipotle, and hamburgers for Five Guys. And I just saw this power, this um, kind of being the expert in a particular category, and started writing down all my ideas, all my notes. And at some point, I could not go to sleep at night because I was just so excited about this. I couldn't find anything out there in the marketplace. Um, so I finally looked at my wife and said, I'm going to regret this if I don't start this thing. And she goes, okay. And so we made it happen. So that's part of the story.
I love it. I love it.
That's
So
the start of it,
that's
anyway.
a start. Yeah, yeah. There's so much to unpack there before we even go a little bit past that. So so for anybody listening, I mean, this is so key.
Everybody listening, for everybody listening.
This is, it could be somebody in a year from now, 2 years from now, just
Yes, that's right.
stumble upon it. How old were you, just before I say what I'm going to say, how old were you when you were working at the Macaroni Grill public relations department or marketing department?
I was 30 to 38.
Okay. So you were not young, too young. So you were an adult. You were a man, so you were 30 to 38. And you were hired to be a marketing director or the
That's
head of
right.
the marketing firm. And while you're in that department, making your revenue from the company, getting your health benefits, you saw opportunities to learn so many different areas because it was an emerging brand. It was scaling. So when you're scaling, it's just craziness. I can assume, and I've been in scaling business as well, but maybe not as big as that at all. But you cannot be hyper focused on one thing. You need to be everywhere to learn everything because everybody needs help. Everybody's always in the weeds, right? Am I right?
Everybody is always in the weeds, no matter how small or big the company is. There's always plenty to be done. Yes.
And so Chris, you went and you picked you learned about the law, you learned about marketing, you learned about scaling, you learned about branding, you learned about the operational excellence that needs to be done, the systems, the procedures. So you saw all this happening and you were absorbing it all. And you had your own concept in your mind that an idea struck you and you started just thinking about it, but it began to turn into a fire that you couldn't contain anymore. And you needed to do something about, otherwise it was going to eat you up. Correct?
That is correct.
Interesting. I love to hear
Yes.
that. That's the
Yeah.
entrepreneurial journey right there, you know?
It, I'm certainly blessed to have had the experience of Brinker International and had a bigger foundation that I could pull from, whether it be construction or, distribution, those type of things where I went in with some knowledge that helped me get this started, right? But that I was certainly not an expert in anything, but nothing was really going to pull the rug out from underneath me. So I learned a lot as after I opened the restaurant. I like to say I have the on the job MBA, but getting it open without that base knowledge and the help of a lot of friends. I had one buddy of mine who actually took a week off of work, who's at Brinker, and helped hire my first group of team members and kind of got me ready for my opening. So, really um, to say that I did it all on my own, that is, I'll never agree to that. I will never sign my name on that. It was a joint effort, and certainly my wife, who had to put up with me for a year and a half as I was trying to get this thing going. Because the other part is having a conviction about opening something that there are many naysayers, and if you are interested in becoming an entrepreneur, especially with a new idea, you've got to turn a deaf ear to most people. Because when I would say, "Hey, I'm going to open a salad centric restaurant here in Dallas, Texas," the response was, "Oh, what are you, crazy? That's ridiculous. We eat steaks here in Dallas. We don't
Barbecue.
salads. Who eats salads? Rabbits eat salads." And so I couldn't find a bank that wanted to loan me any money. I couldn't find a distributor that wanted to give me a chance on, I wanted environmentally friendly. We'll talk about that in a minute, but I wanted environmentally friendly packaging. I couldn't find a real estate company that would give me 2,000 square feet of space, new concept. And I, it's funny because after I opened the next day, people said, I had that idea. Oh, I get it now. Right? I mean, but this is what I've been talking about for a year and a half, 2 years, right? Of this salad centric restaurant. And just for whatever reason, they couldn't put the pieces together in their mind. And until they saw it, a actual door opening and salads in front of them, they just they weren't convinced it would happen. So you have to kind of stick with it. It's not easy.
So, Chris, it was a year and a half from the moment you decided, from the moment you started to the moment it actually became into a reality. But were you still working with Brinker, or
No,
did you quit?
I quit. I actually I left. I There was a lot of writing on the wall, and so I left. And my wife was working, thankfully. She was actually pregnant, and so we had an 8 month old, 9 month old when we first opened. But it wasn't easy, but we made it. And one of the things I like to tell entrepreneurs, people that start, is really there's three requirements of success: sacrifice, persistence, and discipline.
Hmm.
Sacrifice, persistence, and discipline. Sacrifice because you just do without, whether it be going out with friends because you got to work on a project or work on the training materials. Sacrifice that you don't go out to eat because you want to save money. Sacrifice because you just have to sacrifice. And then persistence is kind of what I alluded to before of you have this idea and you got to keep on going and going and going and going no matter what. People just aren't signing up to help a lot of people, or they weren't at the time. I feel like that's changing a little bit, but and then discipline. You got to have discipline. You got to be able to wake up in the morning and jump into whatever needs to be done. You can't procrastinate. So sacrifice, persistence, and discipline. I forgot the question now.
No, sacrifice, persistence, and discipline. I couldn't agree with you more. I couldn't agree with you more.
And really, that's no matter what you're doing.
Yeah.
If you are an athlete, right? Steph Curry, what is he doing when he's not playing a game? He's practicing. He's not going out with the team. He's in the gym. He's throwing more 3-pointers, and that's, people forget that, or don't see that. They just see this incredible athlete, and it's not just athletes, it's across the board. And they, it's like, wow, he was an overnight success. Well, no, no, nobody's an overnight success. They put in a lot of work up to that.
20 years in the making.
That's right. Exactly. So
I have.
All right. I apologize. I interrupted.
No problem. I have this, I call him Charles, and I have that and the saber-tooth tiger behind me as a reminder. It's kind of silly, but as a reminder that you have to have emotional strength, because you're going to get punched in the stomach a lot. People are going to put you down. You're going to make such terrible mistakes that it feels like somebody just stopped you as hard as they could in your gut, and you need to be able to feel it, absorb it, and then put your game face back on and go back out there, because it's going to happen constantly. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. And nobody's going to hand you anything. You have to be like a saber-tooth tiger, eyes on the prize, and aggressive as hell. Go after it, go after day in, day out, Otherwise, because if you don't get to eat. I guess this is a bad example because he did go extinct. But the point is, my point is emotional intelligence, strength and aggression. But plus with your 3 pillars, I mean, it's true. I agree with everything you're saying so far. But the original question was, you quit your job and then you didn't work and you started to spend money. How did you survive? So you're saying you sacrificed, you stopped spending money, you downsize a little bit what you normally would spend, so that you can save the money to open up your first restaurant. Did you use cash? You said you couldn't get money. Did you get a loan? Did you get seed money with angel investors? Tell me.
Yes, I ultimately got my dad to help me out with a loan where he co-signed at the bank that finally, would talk to us. But prior to that, it was next to impossible. And bankers, God love them, are not business people. They like to think that they are, but they're not. And especially with a new idea, it's tough for them to see that, to envision what you have in your head. So my suggestion there is have a great credit score, and you really, have some assets if you can at all. Small business loans were never a friend to me. There's so much red tape and there's so many things that you got to put in there. So just have a good credit score would be my number one thing. And then anybody that you can deal with now, if you're in a position right now, start having a conversation with a local bank, and create a relationship. Because if I were to go to you and say, hey, I need $200,000, or hey, my name is Chris, I need $200,000, you're probably going to have a lot of anxious moments there, right? I mean, I just met you, so start dating a bank, and start telling them what you're doing, and start right, and eventually get to the point where you can pop the question of, hey, I need some money. How do you think I should go about doing it? And the bank might not give you money, but the bank might have people who are interested in investing. And so that's another part that, I use later on. But to get it started, I had to lean on my dad. And it was a point where I said, hey, Dad, I've talked to this many banks, and I can't get anywhere else. And he said, oh, all right. So thank God for Dad.
He signed his name as collateral, but you still... Right. It's not like you borrowed money from him. You had to use his name so that they would give you, because it's your first business. So they don't know if you're
Right.
going to be, if you're going to fail within the first month or go up to 14 stores and do $16 million. They don't know, you know,
No.
they don't know what's going to happen. So yeah, it's risky. It's risky. But you got it done. And then what? Then what did you do with the money? Did they give you one big lump sum and then did you freak out, or were you like, okay, now I know what to do?
We got a total amount, and then we could do draws on that total amount. And the idea is you never draw the entire amount that you're allotted, but with any new business, you always draw all of it because you don't plan far enough ahead. And so my recommendation, these kind of what you were saying of getting, it's mental toughness, right? Of getting punched in the gut. Um, the better you plan, the better off you will, you're, it's tough. It's a penny business and it takes a long time, especially for a new concept to get started, to gain that traction, get that flywheel going. So, in our case, we were drawing on construction. So you have FF&E and you have, tenant improvement. So we, it was a $300,000 loan to get the first one open. And we ultimately probably spent about 350. So 50 of that 350 was on my credit cards and home loans and those kind of things to kind of pull it all together. So
Scary,
the
scary.
yeah, the money goes quickly. The money goes really quickly, and you that's where the discipline comes in. Of you've got to be able to say, I'm only going to do this. I want to do this, but I'm going to only do this, and I'm going to do it by here, and I'm going to, because without that discipline, um, I don't know of anybody who has a, it's beer budget, champagne taste. I don't know of anybody that has a champagne budget and beer taste. Very few, if any. So you can add it on and add it on, and construction contractors love to add on change fees. Distributors love to add on fees to their pricing structures, and everybody wants to take advantage. Insurance people love to overinsure you, those type of things, and so have discipline, have a plan, and stick to it.
So,
It's
but I want to just make a comment about what you just said. Very powerful. When it comes to entrepreneurship, building your business, starting something, starting down that journey, there are so many times in the entrepreneurial journey where you have to say no so many times, even though the shiny red ball, the new tile structure, the new tile design, an idea that popped in your brain, somebody said something and you thought it was a great idea. Sometimes, out of 1,000 decisions that you have to make a day, you have to say no to like 999 of them. You have to only say yes to one or two a day, because that discipline that you keep talking about is right there. The mind can be very, it can trick you into going down the wrong path all the time, because you want to, life is exciting. If you're an ideas man, okay, but now 300 turned into 450 and now you didn't even get to open up, you're out of business, you know?
Yeah, yeah. You need a friend. You need somebody that you can bounce those ideas off of, and um, create a, like, I don't know what the ratio is of, 1 to 100, of no's, or
I
that
mean, yeah.
right. But you need to be able to share those ideas with somebody within and without, and get the feedback on those ideas, because yeah, you can be that chasing every single shiny object, and um, and when you do that, you don't have any objects. You just have a big pile of shiny stuff, and nothing that's actually making money for you. So um, I found the some people would say stuff to you and you go, that's a ridiculous idea, only to turn around 24 hours and go, that's actually not that bad. So there's a juxtaposition that you have to deal with, and there's no right answer or no wrong answer. But where you can share it with other people and get their opinion, that helps. And so let me say that about a small business. Um, I um, I would recommend to all small business owners to get an advisory group, people who you respect in the community that are leaders of their businesses. And I don't mean all CEOs, I don't mean that, but CTOs or computer vice presidents and directors and that type of thing, um, to come together on a quarterly basis and review your business. And it hurts. Get you get your dirty laundry out there. Everybody has it, and just say, hey, this is what I'm dealing with right now. How would you go about it? And you don't have to pay them because they like you, or they like your brand, or they want some experience on a board level. Um, but they can bring new ideas to you, trusted ideas, trusted advisors that can propel your business, or keep it, not really propel it necessarily, but keep it from hitting all the potholes along the way. So, you know, 4 people, 5 people on your board, make it a quarterly update, give them financials, give them HR updates, give them anything that's kind of going on in your organization. Let them opine on it. And again, you get to make the final decision. You don't have to take every word that they're saying to you, um, but where you can rely on some other experience, some other perspectives, you'll be amazed at what that'll do for your company, for your business.
I wish I did that. I wish I did that. Um, in the Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, he talks about the mastermind. I don't know if you ever read the book. I know you're an avid reader, but I don't know if you've ever read that particular book. Have you?
No, no, not yet, but I'm going to put it on my list.
Life changing. Um,
Yeah.
it's one of the best business books out there, and it's an oldie but a goodie. It's an easy read. But he talks about mastermind. Mastermind is where any two or more people get together for your embetterment, your growth, your. It's not financially necessarily financially based. It's just wanting they naturally and instinctively want you to do better. So they have your best interest in mind when they're talking about whatever you're dealing with. Advisory council, mastermind, same thing. But I wish I would have done that, what you just recommended, or
You
listen.
can still do it. You can still do
Oh
it.
no, now I do.
Yeah,
Now,
yeah.
but
Oh,
when
yeah.
you're kidding, I would have saved probably $200,000 in mistakes and like I kept my dirty laundry to myself, and it was so it's probably slowed me down by like 7 years.
That's your ego, right?
Yeah,
That's your ego talking, and everybody has one. And if you start something new, then you have to have a big ego, because otherwise you have to have confidence. But where you can give 4 people, 5 people, 6, 10 people, now I wouldn't say more than 6 people, where you can give them that trust, that kind of, I'm going to let you under the tent, and here, sign this. You agree to. Um, it will change your world. You'll just go, because until you are a leader, until you are a CEO of a business, you don't understand. I'm sorry to anybody who's not in that position today, and it might sound um, egotistical. I don't know how it comes across, but until you have the pressures of making those daily decisions that you talked about earlier, you just don't know. And so when you can share the stress and the camaraderie of someone who's been through that, it's therapeutic as well as you know helping the business.
yeah, yeah. Great advice. Great advice. So who was your original person that you would go through to talk about your ideas? Was it your wife?
My wife was a big part of that, and then I told you about my buddy who
Took
took
off a
his
week.
week off, and he never actually worked in the business. He's a restaurant guy, but we were buddies. We kind of were on the same wavelength. It wasn't a difficult conversation for me to have with him about why I was doing this. There were a lot of folks who I knew at Brinker who, when I told them the idea, they're like, "Oh, that's a great idea. Let me know how I can help." And then when I left and called them up and said, "Hey, I need your help," They go, you know, I've got a few things I got to knock off here first, and then I'll get around, back around to you. And so they're still my friends. I don't want you to think that you
But
know,
they're busy
because
about
they
their
didn't help
own lives
me.
as well, you know.
Yeah. So he was one, and certainly whenever there's somebody that's an expert in the room, I would seek them out and uh, to kind of hear what was happening kind of on a global scale, and went to a lot of fast casual summits as I could, and anything that happened here in Dallas, MUFSO, and those type of food shows, I would always go, and um, just inquisitive by nature, and I think that helps kind of keep the creative juices going, but also kind of the train going in the right direction, because there are a lot of brilliant minds in the restaurant business, and we just don't tap into it, I guess, as much. Or I don't feel like we do. I could be wrong on that. We do like sharing ideas, but I don't know that we take advantage of it as much. And so, kind of on that topic of um, each city has their own restaurant association, and you you should be a part of it and active in it, because so Greater Dallas Restaurant Association is here, GDRA, part of the Texas Restaurant Association, part of the National Restaurant Association, and the advocacy that they do at the state, well, at the local level and the state level, is to our benefit. So they are saying, hey, we're going to go, as a group, we're talking for the Greater Dallas Restaurant Association about curfews. We're talking about parking issues. We're talking about, liquor laws, those kind of things, so that you don't have to, but you should be in the know. You should be able to um, talk to one of your associates and say, hey, I heard that they're going to do this. What do you think about that? And that's a great resource for restaurants that I don't think people take enough advantage of. Everybody has them, trade, associations, but we're the second largest. I think it's the second largest industry in the country, and we have so many mom and pops that just aren't involved in the process, and they can complain, but that's a victim mentality. So be go out there and join up. It costs a little bit of money, but I'm telling you the benefits outweigh. You'll get all sorts of training materials, connections, a lot of national sponsors that will come in and discount their rates for us, whether it be health insurance or there's just so many benefits to it other than just finding out about what's going on in the restaurant industry.
Awesome. So definitely Chamber of Commerce, National Restaurant Association, your local restaurant association, anything to do, immerse yourself in the business you're in the keep your finger on the pulse of the industry you're in. Become quote unquote industry expert because you're in it. Plus, you might get ideas, right? So you might go to these fast casual or fine dining or um, whatever street food vendor trade shows and get ideas for your own business. You could apply it to yours. It has nothing to do with yours, but you never considered. You're borrowing from another part of the sector or a sector of the business. So yeah, I agree. I think that's a great advice as well. And Chris, so what happened when you had the store, you opened your store, and were you guys gangbusters first week? Was it, oh shit, it's not that busy, I gotta start marketing? What did you do?
Yeah. It rained the first week, and
Oh,
I come to find out that rain and salads don't go well together. It goes great for the pizza business.
love rain. Let it rain, let it snow.
Liquid coupons. Yeah, liquid coupons. Um, no, it was tough. And I guess that's where you go back to the planning of, you know, and I wasn't great at it, to be honest. And looking back, you know, I'm really thankful that I made it through it. But you should have a fan, I could go here or I could go here. And you better plan here for your numbers, for your, expenses, and hope here. And anything that falls below here, you better start working. But, I'm a marketing guy. And so I know how to shake hands and kiss babies and know how important service is. And so um, I, I believe in guiding statements. And so one of the um, one of the things that we did a lot at Brinker was repeat visits, and I talked about it with Pizza Hut of the frequency of the guest. And so um, without new guests, you will ultimately fail because of attrition. Guests have a bad experience. They may or may not tell you about it and never come back again. They may move away. They may die. They may find another better option. Um, so, the lifeblood of a restaurant in particular is a new guest. We had the fortunate piece of, well, and maybe it happens in more restaurants than what I think, but before COVID, when everybody would walk through the restaurant, you could tell that they were new guests. Well, obviously, everybody was new, but you could tell over time that they were new guests because they would look up at the menu on the wall and stare. And they'd look over, and so that was our cue. And we had it designed so that somebody could run around the corner and say, "Oh, it's your first time here," and let me help you through that process. So,
I watched that on video.
So that was one piece.
I watched that process on YouTube.
I'm sorry, say that again.
I watched that process on YouTube. I saw a lady walk around, kind of informed, and I said, that's a really. I was thinking this morning when I was preparing, I was like, that was nice, to come out there and say, hey, it's first time here. Let me tell you, I would recommend this salad if you like meat, and this salad if you like more of a vegetarian. It's really nice.
Good, thank you. So let me do that. Oh, you. If you want to screen share, well, I'll talk about just guiding statements. And one in particular for our team was to make our guest dining experience so good that they want to come back again tomorrow. To make our guest dining experience so good that they want to come back again tomorrow. So how does that manifest itself in the world? Well, whether it be opening the door for them or a friendly smile, hey, I'm glad you're here. Let me help you through the menu. They get through the menu. Oh, I'm sorry, you said no onions. Let me remake it for you. I know that's important to you. Get to the register. We're a, kind of cafeteria style line where you order your food, you pick out what you want, put it in the bowl, and then you pay for it at the end. And then the register at the cashier says, "Thank you so much. We'll see you tomorrow." They take their bowl, their drink, and their tray out to the table, set it down, they eat. You walk over and say, as a manager, "How is everything?" Or not, "How is everything?" I didn't have everything. "How is your salad today? How is your experience today?" And they can get real feedback. And one of my favorite things is, would you order that again? Would you order that item again? And if they say, that's when the real truth comes through. Because when you ask them, how was your salad today? Everybody will say, good. Oh, it's good. How's your pizza today?
They don't want to be the complaining guy.
Right. Well, and they're probably having a conversation with their friend. They don't want to be interrupted that much. But they appreciate you coming over, and it's just a standard response. It's kind of like when you say, "How are you doing today?" I'm fine. No, I heard about your mom. Oh, well, yeah. It's been tough, right? So it's that one layer deeper, and so then they'd say, "Well, it's a little too bitter for me." Oh, so you like a little bit sweeter? You should try the sweet and smoky salad. Or you should, let me get you a card and you can come in from, a free salad on your next visit. If it's a takeout order, you're making sure that they are taken care of in a short period of time, right? So going back to make your guest dining experience so good that they want to come back again tomorrow, no matter what it is, curbside, delivery, whatever. Um, if they want to come back again tomorrow, what are they going to do? They're going to tell their friend, their family, their friend's family, their family's friends. Oh my gosh, I just had the greatest pizza from, I just had the greatest sandwich from. They were so, and that's who we want to do business with. How many times have you gone into a business and had had an experience that, you know, it's just so-so? Who are you going to tell about it? You're not going to tell anybody. So in those beginning months, and really there's no delineation of when it should stop, but in the very first months, you got to make sure that everybody that walks that you capture them and you keep them as a guest ongoing.
Yeah, yeah, it's so true. So true. Not a lot of fast casual places do what you just mentioned, coming out and greeting the tables and saying, "How was your food? Hope everything's great. Did you enjoy yourself? Would you come back and try it again?" Any form of that, even simple, just come by, somebody who looks like with authority, and just say, "Hey, how you doing? Are you done with that? I'd be happy to take that from you." That little gesture, it can take an average visit and make it extraordinary, because you can
Right.
know that there's somebody who cares there, which
Right.
you don't find a lot anymore.
Well, and I'll come back to that's where the guiding statements come in, where if those are things that you talk about, in addition to the training needs and the OSHA and all the, all the functional things that you need to get done, bringing out the mission and the values of the company and talking about them ad nauseum will make a big difference in how engaged your team is. And we did a lot to talk about those things. I mean, whether it's in an email or on a paycheck or in weekly calls with the management teams, those have to be part of the conversation, in my opinion, to kind of make it more than just a job, where you can give them a purpose and where you can explain what they're doing. People start going, oh, yeah, I'm proud to be a part of this, and I want to come back tomorrow. I don't have to come back tomorrow, but I want to come back tomorrow. So um, I would urge everybody to find those guiding statements and stick with them.
They call them mission statements. Is it different than guiding statements? I mean, mission statements is, yeah, let me answer my own question. Tell me if I'm right. Guiding statements is something that it guides your every move. Like if you're not sure what decision to make, listen to your guiding statement and see if it helps you direct you. Mission statements is something that you write on a piece of paper that nobody ever knows and nobody talks about. It's not really
Yes,
guided.
yes. So why have it? Yes, I agree. Guiding statements to me are maybe in layers where you can use certain statements um, at a high level, at a strategy level. And so our purpose was to leave the world healthier than the way we found it. To leave the world healthier than the way we found it. Well, it's ambiguous, but it's specific to every situation that comes about. We serve salads, considered healthy by most, healthier.
Healthier.
We used environmentally friendly construction materials, food wherever we could, organic and non-GMO. Our takeout packaging made of corn or made of recycled. So, we did a lot a lot of things bubbled up underneath that purpose statement of leaving the world healthier than the way we found it. And then if you go down the next layer of as a team member, our guiding statement was to sincerely and automatically do the right thing in all situations, regardless of the circumstances. Again, a very ambiguous, very general rule.
Very hard thing to follow.
Well, hard to define, right? Of, well, what does it mean? So, but if you put a little thought into that of you have a regular guest who walks through our line every single Monday, Wednesday, and Friday and gets the exact same salad. We know them by name. And one day they go like this. Oh, I forgot my wallet. Well, the right thing, sincerely and automatically, is to say, hey, I got you covered today. I'm going to take care of your salad today as a cashier who's making $10, $12, $14 an hour. Well, the next part of that is, as a cashier, hey, manager, I wanted to let you know I bought Sally's lunch today because she forgot her wallet. Who's Sally? Well, Sally comes in Monday, Wednesday, Friday. She always gets the same thing. Oh, I know Sally. Great. Thank you. Good job. So those are the guiding statements that everybody should, and find your own. Find your own. Don't use mine or ours. But where you can take a moment to really kind of say, this is who we want to be, and articulate that, then you will be stronger. And it is not just words, it is a bigger global kind of, as Simon Sinek likes to say, it's a infinite game. It's not a finite game. We don't have a you know a countdown clock of, oh my gosh, we won the game. It's 10-3, and the Jets beat the Cowboys or whatever. It is a infinite game, and we're going to play it again tomorrow. And so find those statements that will help your team understand what you are all about. And what are you all about? I got to give you one more. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. It is it's an unattainable triangle. I don't know if you've ever heard of that or not before, but there are three components of every business. There's price, there's quality, and then there's service. Some people like to call it speed, but I like to classify it into a category of service. So everybody competes in those three segments: price, quality, and service. You as a business need to decide which one is most important and which one is the second. And the third goes away. Don't even worry about it, because you cannot compete in all three. And really, only a few can compete in just one. And those are the category killers. Those are the companies that say, I am going to be the low price, low price, low price, low price, or highest quality, highest quality, highest quality, highest quality. But those are few and far between. So as a business, you need to say, okay, my number one priority is quality. So our statement is to make the highest quality salads our guest request as fast and efficiently as possible. So again, kind of the service and speed aspect. Quality and then service, speed. It doesn't say anything about price. Now, I don't think I can serve a $100 salad, but I can serve a $15, $16, $17, $18 salad because it's high quality. Sockeye salmon, fresh caught or seared to order. I use Reggiano Parmesan over the top, Niçoise olives, extra virgin olive oil from California Olive Ranch. All of the, four-leaf quality balsamic vinegar. All these things that go into creating a quality salad, and then I got to serve it quickly. So pick your one, pick your two, forget about the third. And then the second part is never switch one with two, because you'll just confuse your consumer. Hey, you told me about quality. You told me about quality. You told me about quality. I love the service aspect, but I want to do quality. Because anytime that you change those in a mentality, then you're changing how you're delivering that product to your guest. Because you don't care about quality anymore, so you care only about speed and service. So you can look at the sandwich category, and you can say from Subway, the 5-foot long, they're talking about price, right? Mm-hmm. So if they continue to talk about price, and good for them. If they start saying that we've got the highest quality meatballs on our meatball sandwich, at $4 or $3, you're going to scratch your head and say, I don't believe you. If
Yeah.
you go to Jimmy John's, right? Yeah. If you go to Jimmy John's and it's freaky fast, that's what you expect. That's what they're saying. So when it takes 45 minutes to come, then you go, wait a minute, hold on, you're not freaky fast. And you just charged me $12 for one sandwich. But when they deliver on that freaky fast and they deliver on quality at second, it's a pretty good sandwich.
Yeah.
You don't care about paying $12. So pick one as your priority, pick one, your second one as your sub, and then kick the other one to the curb within reason.
Yeah, you're always going to have all
my
three.
business advice.
The question is how which one are you going to focus on the most? Oh, top two, I should say. Excellent advice.
Right.
Actually,
keep them in that order.
Keep
them in that order. Cannot flip them.
I'm going to analyze my own business, and I'm wondering if I'm following that. I don't think I'm following that properly. Interesting. I might have to go back to the drawing board a little bit and kind of figure out my identity in that the never attainable triangle, the unattainable triangle.
Unattainable triangle. It'll go back to when you do have that, then the decisions get easier. The ones that we were talking about earlier, the 100 decisions a day, those decisions then become based on a statement, a foundation of the business, and not just a whim of how you are that day. They all kind of funnel up into this kind of I don't know. It creates the entity tighter and tighter every single time that you use those to make your decisions on a daily basis.
I'm going to use it, and I really appreciate the advice. And you have been a wonderful guest on the Always Right podcast. And I just wanted to say, Chris, that snappy salad that was on your website earlier looks delicious. I can't wait. Next time I come, I was in Dallas right before the pandemic for Tony Robbins. I went to Tony Robbins, Unleash the Power Within. You know, if I would have met you then, I would have come over, said hello. We would have broke some bread together, had some salad.
Absolutely.
I'm a big steak salad guy. I get steak or salmon sometimes if I'm feeling really like I want to go a little bit lighter on the cholesterol. But steak on my salad, I'll eat it every day. But unfortunately, I have to cut this out. I have 4 minutes left because I have another podcast at 11. But I kind of
try the grilled avocado salad. Try the grilled avocado salad.
With steak on it?
You can add steak, sure. But grilled avocado, it eats like $1 million.
Really?
Yes. Okay.
Is that the one you get when you go there? When you go to your own restaurants?
I get the Bam Bam, which is another great salad.
Yeah, I saw you on Fox making it.
It's good. Nobody else can make it.
Really?
Yes.
It sounded good. I saw you make you're on the Fox. It was like a long time ago. It was like 8 years ago, I think, or 5 years ago. But you made the dressing with the parsley and the Worcestershire sauce and and then you actually mixed it quinoa. It has a lot of quinoa inside of it, packed with protein. Correct? Is that the right one?
That's the Bam Bam. That's the Bam Bam that you're talking about. That's a fantastic salad too. I love that salad too. But the grilled avocado is we take an avocado, we actually griddle it and put it on a chipotle lime vinaigrette dressed salad with some black beans and corn and some queso fresco, a little bit of fresh squeezed lime over the top. And I mean, I'm telling you, it is a game changer. It will make you go, for anybody who doesn't eat salads, they will say after eating that, whoa. I could do that again. I can do that again.
Well, I'll tell you what. Promise me if I will, when I come out to Dallas, I'm going to give you a call. Maybe we'll have some lunch together.
I'd love it. It would be great. It would be my pleasure.
All right. Thanks, Chris. Everybody, I appreciate you coming on to snappysalads.com, right? Snappysalads.com.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. All right. You have a wonderful day. It was great talking to you, and I'm learning from you. I appreciate it.
Yes, you too. Take care.
Take care, Chris. Bye-bye.